Well, hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Celeste Harrison, and I am so excited to have you joining us today. I want to start by wishing everyone a very happy Lunar New Year and a very happy Black History Month. Here at National Geographic, we believe in the power of exploration, wonder, and storytelling to change our world for the better. This Explorer Classroom YouTube show connects students from all over the world with our National Geographic explorers for short lessons and plenty of time for all of your student questions. Today, our explorer is Dr. Anny Peralta-García. Anny is a biologist who researches how to protect amphibians and reptiles in Northwest Mexico. She is helping to safeguard frogs against climate change and habitat loss and invasive species and all kinds of different threats. She knows that even the smallest organisms are really, really important parts of their ecosystems, and she refuses to let her favorite species go extinct. So today we're talking about ecosystems, amphibians, preventing extinctions. It is going to be a good day here in the Explorer Classroom. But before we get to the lesson, let's do some shout outs. My shout outs for this episode are going to Farcor, Class 5, Melinda, Masonville Public School, West Canada Valley Central School District, ASFM, Shri Balsgar Secondary School, Lillian Noah, Melinda Gloss's school, the Del Prado group, all the homeschools we've got out there today, Miss Tanton's students, Miss Hoover's class, Miss Karks's class, Geeta, Akil, Chandani, Rhea, Andy, Anushka, plus many more of you out there in the chat bar. Hello to all of you. Give us a wave in there. We'd love to say hi back. We are thrilled to have you here. And with all of that talking from me out of the way, it's time to get the event started. I'm going to turn it over to Anny to share all about frog conservation. Take it away.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Celeste, for a great introduction. Yes, I'm here to talk to you about amphibians. So here's mine. If you can see my screen, raise your hands if you can see it. Thank you. So I'm here to talk to you about how you guys can become amphibians heroes. So pay a lot of attention, okay? First of all, we need to know what we are protecting, right? We need to know what we care so we can take good care of them. Amphibians, it's a Greek word, comes from the mixture of two words that means amphi and bio. Amphi means two and bio means life. So it's to life. What it means is because it relates to the fact that amphibians have to go to two stages in two different habitats, terrestrial and water. So amphibians are vertebrates, just like you and me, but of course their bones are tiny, not like ours. Also, their skin doesn't have any hair like mammals do, and doesn't have any scales like reptiles or fish. Their skin is always slippery. Has anybody of you grabbed a frog before? Raise your hands. No frog? Yes? Okay, I see some hands in there. Yeah, they're always slippery. It's like trying to grab jelly. You know, it's so wet. Why is it wet? Because they also breathe through their skin. And in order for them to breathe, they have to stay wet. If the skin goes dry, they wouldn't be able to absorb any water and they might die. So that's why they're always associated with water. We always find frogs when we go to a stream or we go to a pond, and they're there always in the interface between water and land. So here I have some pictures from you from those stages in the water. So frogs will lay their eggs in the water, and you can see these pictures of a tiny like grapes, and you see that little circle in there. Every one of those is a tiny little frog that is just, is just starting to live. And then they will grow into these little tadpoles, and they will eat algae. That's why they're important, because they clean our water. They make sure that algae doesn't go too much. And then when we see a pond that is really dark and full of algae, because tadpoles probably are not there. They're not doing their work. There's something happening. And then they will grow bigger, and then they will absorb their tail, and they will start getting these tiny legs out of them. And then they will become a version of an adult frog, and they will come out to the water and start looking for mates and food, of course. And that's their stage in the water. And then they will go out to the land and spend a part of the rest of their life in there. And there's three kinds of amphibians. So remember, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you know them all. Probably you haven't seen at least one. So there's frogs and toads that we all know about them. Then there's salamanders. These have tails. unless frogs and toads doesn't have tails. And then we have caecilians. These ones are really, really weird. They're like worms. They don't have any legs, and they live in South America, and they live only in the water. And you probably haven't seen one if you don't live there, but they're really awesome. If you want to know more about them, you gotta look for them in the internet and find more about them, because they are really special. So there's, remember, 3 kinds of amphibians: frog and toads, salamanders and tritons, and caecilians. So if somebody asks you, what did you learn today? How many kinds of amphibians there are? How many? 3. Come on, guys, just 3. So why are amphibians important? Well, as I told you, they have to go and live in the water at first. You know, their babies grows in the water. So if something is wrong in the water, they will know about it. It's like us trying to breathe in a room that is full of not good gas, you know, and you wouldn't be able to breathe. So if something is wrong with the water, amphibians will also get sick. And that's how we can know if something is bad in the water. So they will let us know. If you go to a stream where there's no amphibians and there's tons of mosquitoes, it's probably there is something wrong with the water, and we shouldn't be in that place at first. Also, they produce chemicals that are used in medicine. So since you guys are big, I got some of those weird component names that you can also do some research about it. It's like this species called Agalignis sporelli. They have this dermazeptin sp2 component that is used for antimicrobial properties. And also there's another one that is used for low pressure treatment. So there's a whole bunch of medicine that is being used to heal us. So if amphibians disappear, some of this medicine might also disappear. So it's really important that we can save amphibians, because we're actually saving ourselves. Other important thing, as I said, they love to eat mosquitoes. Who loves mosquitoes? You love to go into the ponds and be bitten by mosquitoes? I don't. It's really annoying. So amphibians help us in that way. There's a species in eastern United States, so maybe you have it, some of you in your well, not in your backyard, but in your area. It's a mole salamander. This salamander can eat up to 900 mosquitoes in one single day. You imagine eating 900, even 900 cookies in a day? That's like impossible, right? Well, maybe not for all of you, but so you see that big belly right there? So they will eat tons of mosquitoes. Imagine a family of salamanders. Imagine a whole ecosystem with different species of amphibians, how many mosquitoes they can eat in a day. So they really help us, because they get rid of those. And also mosquitoes transmit diseases. So they also helping us not to get sick. So they're really awesome. And they are just amazing. They have these really different colors, different forms. Some of them seems like somebody painted them or drew them and came out from their imagination or their movie. There's some species that looks like gummy bears. Come on, this just, or extraterrestrial. They're just so amazing, so full of colors and forms. I just love them. I think they're extraordinary. Some of them you can even see them through, like the glass frog. You can see when they're eating. You can see their heartbeat. It's just amazing. Some of them will carry their babies from where the eggs were laid to the stream on their back, and some of them just have really bright, colorful eyes, like the red eyes. Frog is just amazing. I just love them, guys. There's no way you cannot love amphibians. But guys, the bad news is they are disappearing right now as we speak. Amphibians are going away. At least 1 of every 3 amphibians are disappearing if we don't do something. So why are they disappearing? Has anybody has an idea? And maybe write in the chat what are the things that you think they are disappearing? Yes? Do I hear some of you habitat loss? Somebody say habitat loss? Yes, they're losing their habitats because we just love to build so many buildings, and we love to grow things for eating, and we just love to extract water. For some reason, we use so much water that we're taking them away from them. Exotic species. So does anybody know what's exotic species? Yeah, your big guys, you know. Exotic species is a species that doesn't belong to a place and is being placed in one area, and then the frog that lives in there that didn't know that exotic species doesn't have any adaptation to protect from it, and they will eat it and they will disappear. So exotic species are a problem because they are displacing or eating our native species. Climate change. Of course, everybody knows about climate change. It's a big problem. Higher temperatures, the ponds doesn't dry up faster, or just too much temperature for them, because if the water is too hot, they might just don't metamorph or will affect them. Diseases, just like we have COVID, they have other diseases like heterodomycosis, which is a fungus that affects them in the skin, and it will make them thicker and they wouldn't be able to breathe. So they also have to deal with many diseases. Of course, pollution, as I say, if there's something wrong with the water, that's where they live, they will die off. And of course, we still have people that eat frog legs. I hope you guys don't do it. If you do, please don't. There's a lot of species that are disappearing because we are consuming frog legs. So, eat your best vegetables instead. There's a whole new ways to make them now. So if you don't like them, there gotta be a way that you're gonna love it. I bet you. So what am I doing to help frogs? Maybe I'm talking too much. I'm not doing anything, right? Well, I'm a scientist. So what I do is I try to find out what's happening. As I say, if I want to protect something, I need to know what I'm protecting. So first, I started this, like you can see a picture of me in there. I was really young, like 20 years ago, when I discovered this frog, and I say, oh, what's going on with them? So we didn't know if the species was abundant, where they like to live, or what was going on with them. So we went to the field and started looking for frogs. It's a picture from some of my friends just trying to find a frog and grab it at first it's hard because they're so slippery, but then you get used to, and then we can start making competitions to see who grabs more frogs. Anyway, so we start looking for frogs, and then we have to mark them, and we have to weigh them and see if they're doing healthy, how many they are. We're also doing some swabs to find out if they have diseases. And then we will mark them with these tiny little rice-size transmitters. So it will allow us to know if we recapture again that frog, how much it will take them, how much they grow, if they grow tiny, a lot, little. So we went that, and what I found, it was not nice. So a lot of the habitat that you can see, is this a frog habitat? You think there's frogs in here? Yes? No? Of course not, there's no water. And there used to be water. These are some of the historical sites for my frogs. Historical means like 20 or 30 years ago, there used to be frogs in here, but now they're not anymore. So we have to go further and look for that water to see where are the frogs. And also where I found the frogs, there were so few, there were not that many frogs. So one of the things that we did is we start giving them that habitat back. So we restore some ponds so they can go and breed and have their babies. We can do it with big machines. We can do this for them in 2018. And it was amazing to see them recover. This is a church. I hope I didn't froze. And you can see it's full of vegetation. So there's tons of food in there and they love it. We do have to do some cleanup once in a while because it's too much. First, that the population recover. Here you can see some of those tiny tadpoles and then a big adult. And you can see this graph where we can see that frogs start going up in numbers. In just 3 years, we went from 20 to more than 50 frogs. And it was amazing. There's so many frogs jumping everywhere. But again, this is just one site out of like 10. So we still have a lot of work to do, but we are excited to see that frogs respond to these actions. And I just want to tell you about this tiny story. This is a frog that we found in 2018. And you can see it's a tiny little frog. It was like a size of a lemon. And it's missing a part of the arm. We call it moshita. And then next year, we got it it was the size of orange, it's bigger. And now last year we found it was a big female, kind of like a mango. So it went from a lemon to a mango size. And you can see her bright red legs, and it was probably ready to lay eggs. So it was nice because we were able to give this frog an habitat where she can actually grow and reproduce, even though she was missing an arm. So she's doing fine. We have to find it this year. And I'll let you know how big she is now. Probably she cannot grow that much big, but who knows? We'll see. She might surprise us. So how, guys, can you help? Well, first of all, you need to avoid plastic. Why? Maybe you're sick of people telling you to avoid plastic. The reason is because when you to make plastic, you need water. Not only the water that is inside to actually make the plastic. So if we use a lot of plastic, we're using a lot of water, the same water that frogs needs to grow and to have their babies and to live, that first stage of their life. So if we take them the water, they'll just die. So instead, use reusable bottles or do not use single-use plastic, please. Also, you have to learn about amphibians, about your local amphibians. I'm in Baja California, and even I have to learn about how my local amphibians were doing. You have to go and look into iNaturalist or other applications that you have and learn about what are the amphibians that you have in your house, in your home, who is working with them. I bet there gotta be someone working with amphibians in your local city, and help them, volunteer, fundraise for them, and just do whatever you think it's in your hands to actually, you gotta see them so you can love those tiny little things that are incredible. And just spread the word, tell everybody about amphibians. They really need heroes to save them. And we need them, actually. We need amphibians too. So it works both ways. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. Let me know. I'm ready for some questions. And thank you for letting me be here.
And Annie, as we start to wrap up today, do you have any general advice for all the young people out there watching?
General advice. Well, just learn about your local amphibians or your local wildlife. There's so many species, not only amphibians, that needs a hero. So just be there, be nice with nature. Just pick up your garbage. Talk about the importance of biodiversity, and yeah.
Incredible. And we've got one very, very practical question that just came in under the wire. We've got a question about frogs on very sunny days. If you're relocating a frog, should you try and put it in the shade? Are they okay in the sun?
Yeah, not in the sun. Remember, they breathe through the skin. So if the skin goes dry, they will die. If you're gonna relocate them, do it not in a sunny area. It needs to be near a wet area and in the shade, please.
Brilliant. Well, I have a bunch of thank yous to give here at the end of the event. Thank you to Annie for doing this incredible work, for protecting so many amphibians, and also for hanging out with us to share all about it. My next thank you is to all the teachers out there who do really, really cool stuff for their kids and make neat things like this happen. And my last and kind of most important thank you goes to the students. You've had really, really cool questions. Almost all of them could become a dissertation to get you your doctorate someday, so hold on to them. I hope to see you all at many more of our upcoming events. Next week, we've got a show about flowers and fruit and some really, really incredible research in Brazil's Atlantic forest with explorer Marcelo Kubo. There's still some on-screen spots for that one, so register quick. The following week, we've got traditional Polynesian voyaging and an expedition team looking for the northernmost terrestrial life on Earth. Really exciting stuff. You can register your students for a shout out during the event and a chance to be up here on screen face-to-face with an explorer at natgeoed.org/explorer classroom. Have an awesome day. Stay curious. Keep exploring.